Well, listen, I called Canelo out because, like I said, he the last great fighter amongst the era that.
Have you ever
wondered what happens when two of the fiercest talkers in boxing decide to settle their scores with words before they settle them with fists? Have you ever paused to ask yourself which of these two masters of the verbal art might blink first when the gloves come off?
Surpassed us, the Floyd, the Pacquiao, the De La Hoya.
The lights were brighter than bleach, the cameras buzzing like hornets, and the air thick with the smell of anticipation as Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez sat face to face. From the very first syllable, they traded barbs sharper than any blade, each man testing the other's resolve. Crawford, lean and lived, carried the confidence of an undefeated warrior who has dismantled every style thrown at him across the table. Canelo, stocky and seasoned, bore the aura of a veteran champion who has faced the best and walked away with his crown intact. Neither would back down, and neither expected the other to.
We both came up in that era, and he was right there with those fighters, and he got the chance to fight.
In the hushed moment before the first insult flew, observers wondered if this was mere showmanship or a sign of genuine friction. Crawford opened with a sly grin, commenting on Canelo's recent performances and questioning whether the Mexican star still packed the same punch that once made him a household name. Canelo countered by recalling the legends he had already conquered, each name etched into his resume like a badge of honor, for both these words were more than chatter. They were the first weapons drawn in a war of ego and legacy.
The Miguel Cottos, the Floyd Mayweathers, and the Kovalevs and Triple Gs, and
energy crackled as questions circled around weight advantage promotional tactics and the strange sight of Crawford donning a Mexican flag shirt. Would this be a calculated move to sway enemy supporters or simply a tribute to the sport's greatest fan base? When Crawford explained that he wore the colors in respect for a community that has embraced him, the crowd murmured in approval. But Canelo remained unconvinced. He leaned forward, eyebrows raised, and wondered aloud whether Crawford was trying to soften him up with gestures that had nothing to do with skill.
Those mega fights, so this is my mega fight, this is my moment, and that's the reason why I want to fight an all-time great like Canelo.
By the time talk turned to past sparring sessions, Crawford admitted camp had barely begun, leaving everyone to speculate how the two titans would truly compare in the ring. Would Crawford's faster hands outmaneuver Canelo's granite chin, or would Canelo's legendary body accuracy and power remind the world why he has clung to his throne for so long? Neither fighter offered a clear answer, preferring instead to let their questions hang in the charged air, daring the other to respond. As cameras panned the sold-out arena, the fighters circled each other with verbal jab reminiscent of old-school street battles. No carefully scripted lines, just raw, unfiltered taunts that laid bare each man's insecurities. Crawford questioned whether Canelo's recent fights hinted at a decline, suggesting that without the right opponent even the greatest can fade. Canelo shot back by reminding Crawford that talk is cheap, and that only the ring can separate real champions from pretenders. Applause. The tension reached fever pitch when name after name from boxing laws invoked Crawford mused on the kinds of fighters who once stood where he and Canelo now stood, heroes and villains whose battles defined eras. He painted pictures of Hagler's grit and Leonard's flair, hinting that only one or two boxers in history could truly challenge both himself and Alvarez. Canelo, ever the traditionalist, reminded Crawford that history favors those who win, not those who pontificate, and that words would be forgotten once fists spoke louder than mouths. Questions about stylistic similarities with past opponents kept the crowd enthralled. Did Crawford see glimpses of Canelo's footwork in the fighters he'd already dispatched? Did Canelo perceive Crawford's signature switch hitting in the way Muhammad Ali had once toyed with opponents rather than supply direct answers? Both men circled these ideas like prize fighters toying with a punching bag. Each punch was a promise of greater power yet unrevealed. No promotional tactic was too small to escape scrutiny. Crawford's decision to wear Mexican shirts on social media sparked debate over cultural authenticity versus clever marketing. Alvarez's camp accused him of pandering, to which Crawford replied that respect is earned, not stolen. The volley of accusations grew more intense, as did the crowd's anticipation. If the pre-fight war was as fierce, what brutality awaited inside the ropes?
He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it.
Then came the personal investments. Crawford spoke with pride about rebuilding homes and gyms in Omaha, displaying a philanthropic side that contrasted with the trash talk. Canelo nodded, He valued tradition and community as much as any fighter, but he warned that generosity would not sway him when the bell rang. Both men acknowledged their duties beyond the ring, yet made it clear that charity would not rescue a fallen warrior from defeat. Even the staid world of fighter loyalty was dragged into the fray. References to Ryan Garcia's split from Eddie Hearn and Crawford's own disputes with promoters underscored that boxing is as much a business as it is a sport. Crawford insisted that loyalty must be mutual, arguing that a fighter has a right to bet on himself if his backer does not deliver. Canelo, ever skeptical of shifting allegiances, questioned whether such moves breed respect or resentment.
I think this fight is gonna be in the books of the history of boxing for sure. That's for sure.
As the press tour wound through London, New York, and Las Vegas, no city could contain the mounting hostility. Each stop saw the same pattern: Crawford's cool confidence met by Alvarez's simmering intensity. Questions about rematch clauses and weight restrictions were met with flat denials. Both men insisted they wanted only one fight, no safety nets, no excuses, and certainly no cages for their egos. They both insisted that when September 13th arrives, they will stand toe-to-toe without regrets. By the end of the whirlwind media tour, one thought prevailed. This was more than publicity, more than showmanship. It was a collision of two legacies hungry to prove supremacy. Crawford's unblemished record stood as a monument to perfection, yet Canelo's track record of triumphs demanded reverence. When they finally meet under the bright lights, neither will have the luxury of words. They will have to let their fists speak.
For sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me. I'm telling you right now.
You can see it, but it's gonna be difficult. You take it to your mom.
I'm taking them.
So mark your calendar.
Mark your calendars and prepare your popcorn, because these two verbal juggernauts have set the stage for the fight of their lives. No monologues, no posturing, just two champions unleashing every ounce of skill, power, and heart. The ring doesn't care about origins, allegiances, or marketing schemes. It only cares about survival, about seizing opportunity, and about writing history with every punch thrown and come. September history will witness whether Crawford's speed and precision can topple Canelo's power and experience, or whether Alvarez will remind the world why he has remained at the summit for so long. If you think you've seen heated rhetoric before, think again. Crawford and Canelo have raised the bar, with each taunt, each question dropped like a gauntlet at the other's feet. They've dared one another to step up to own their convictions and to prove their worth in the greatest arena of all. The only question that remains when the final bell sounds, who will still be standing beyond the pre-fight banter and press tour theatrics, lies the heart of any championship bout: unrelenting training in the gyms of Omaha and Guadalajara both. Warriors push their bodies past the brink day after day. Sweat drips into eyes bruised by resistance bands, and speedbag blast their coaches trade strategy as eagerly as a fighter's trade taunts. Every punch thrown in sparring is a promise that neither man intends to break.
And ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about it come fight
And
night.
I know Turkey is in your corner,
I promise you.
look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day.
At altitude.
At altitude camps and quiet sparring halls, the mental game takes center stage. Crawford meditates on the judicious use of angles, rehearsing defenses against the famed Alvarez counter left hook. Canelo drills his feints and body shots until muscle memory eclipses conscious thought. Both know that victory hinges on the mind as much as on muscle. In these silent moments, the real war rages unseen. Scouts and trainers analyze endless footage, hunting for the smallest edge in slow-motion replays. Reveal split-second openings in guard placements and timing nuances. Cornermen argue over whether Crawford's switch hitting will pay dividends or merely invite Canelo's trademark power shots at the same time. Canelo's team debates the ideal distance to bait the younger man into overreaching. Each technical adjustment may become the difference between glory and defeat. Nutritionists craft bespoke meal plans to fuel ferocious training and sustain punishing weight cuts. Protein shakes blend seamlessly with whole grains and leafy greens to keep muscles primed. Crawford counts every gram, ensuring he hits the scale perfectly without sacrificing strength. Canelo's regimen balances high-calorie bulking with precision timing to preserve his knockout punch. Both understand that what enters the body is as crucial as how often the hands fire.
Both understand that what enters the body is as crucial as how often the hands fire.
Believe me.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
You see I'm different than all the other ones.
No, I see you.
The fighter's personal.
Fighters' personal lives also bear the strain of a title clash. Crawford sacrifices family dinners to rise before dawn and pound the pavement. Canelo postponed social appearances to spar deep into the night. Loved ones watch on with pride tinged by worry, knowing that a single slip could alter lives forever. Yet this sacrifice cements their legacies, binding personal triumph to professional conquest. In sacrifice, they find purpose when social media lights up with snippets of training and cryptic messages. The boxing world holds its breath. Fans dissect every clip, speculating on hand speed and punch force. Betting lines wobble with each viral video, reflecting public sentiment. Promoters ride this wave, teasing interactive events that hype every jab. The digital battlefield becomes a preview of the physical one awaiting on fight night in the arenas where they shine. The ring stands as a modern coliseum. The canvas bears the scars of battles past and the imprint of fresh boots. Corner stools absorb the weight of anxious breath between rounds. Overhead lights gleam off freshly waxed ropes, promising both sanctuary and peril. Here, words give way to reality.
Yet this sacrifice cements their legacies, binding personal triumph to professional conquest. In sacrifice, they find purpose. When social
Is seated ringside to prepare for the impossible task of scoring chaos. They must translate raw violence into numbers and letters. Every punch swells scorecard with unseen influence. Judges' past controversies loom, reminding all that era can tarnish triumph boxing's gatekeepers hold immense power in their pens. Commentators wax poetic on old rivalries, comparing Crawford Alvarez to Hagler Hearns or Tyson Holyfield. They project historical significance onto the bout, betting that the outcome will ripple through boxing lore. Yet neither fighter concerns himself with legacy talk. They focus on the next drill, the next punch, and the next moment of truth. Let history write itself. Merch stands stock ring-worn replicas of both men's gloves and trunks. Each sale feeds a hunger for fandom. Mexican flag shirts share shelf space with Omaha blue jackets, symbolizing the global nature of the fight. Every tee or cap sold cements the bout's cultural footprint. Fans become walking billboards. Sharing allegiances without saying a word, merchandise morphs passion into profit. Press junkets fan out across time zones, forcing fighters into endless cycles of interviews and photo ops. Crawford navigates questions with measured charm. Always returning to the fight stakes, Canelo greets each camera with steely resolve, a reminder that focus is a weapon. Neither allows distraction to erode preparation. They endure these rituals as part of the path to greatness. Legends watch from afar, offering cryptic praise and veiled predictions. Old rivalries resurface on social threads as former champions weigh in. Each comment sparks fresh debate over style supremacy and scorecard strategy. Fans love these sideline grandmasters, believing their words carry prophetic weight in their echoes. The fight grows larger than the men alone.
Fans dissect every clip, speculating on hand speed and punch force. Betting lines
Makers adjust odds with every development. A spark in sparring footage may shift money toward Crawford, a confident grin from Canelo clips. Ripples faith in his knockout power. Millions in wagers hang on infinite decimal shifts in confidence. Unknown factors like travel delays or minor injuries can tilt these scales in the betting world. Uncertainty is both a threat and an opportunity. As fight week dawns, the final press conference feels more ritual than revelation. Both champions appear poised, their bodies lean and hardened. They exchange polite nods but seize every chance for a barb remark. The final decrees are set: gloves, round count, time. All else remains shrouded until the bell rings. With formalities complete, they retreat to final rest and reflection.
You don't know different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
Nothing different.
I'm different.
We'll see.
You gonna see.
We'll
You
see.
know it.
We'll see. We'll
We
see.
gonna
son.
see.
judging.
On fight night itself, the air pulses like a living beast. Thunderous applause greets Crawford's entrance, a chorus of Omaha pride. Canelo's arrival brings a sea of red rising as one in support of a national icon. Both sets of fans roar with equal ferocity, each convinced of victory. The crowd's energy crackles through solid steel ropes into the fighter's veins. The first round crackles with caution. Footwork dances and jabs flicker like warning shots. Crawford probes measured distance with surgical precision. Canelo counters, stalking spaces with predatory intent. Neither lands a decisive blow, but the tension deepens like violin strings tightening before a crescendo. By round 3, strategy crystallizes. Crawford's speed becomes a blur punctuated by rapid-fire combinations. Canelo absorbs and responds with pinpoint counters to the body. Each punch becomes a statement. This is my range, or this is where I hurt you. They converse in leather and sweat, each exchange forging the fight's narrative.